108.
Ew.
God. 108 of these. I genuinely never thought we'd get this far.
We genuinely never thought we'd get past 50.
That is true, yeah. Anyway, as we always start this, how has your week been?
Not too bad. Just getting through uni work, getting more uni work given to me. So,
As is the case usually.
yeah. Even though this is supposed to be like a week off for me, but hey,
Oof,
still getting stuff done. The usual.
fair enough.
How about your week then?
Mixed. And not mixed very well either. It's very much been a 50-50 week.
Oh no.
Monday to Wednesday, my pains were fairly low level. They were pretty manageable. I thought, okay, this is a nice reprieve.
Oh, you cursed that, didn't you?
To quote Hagrid, should not have said that. Should not have said that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, and yesterday, not so great.
Oh dear.
Yesterday, less so, but Thursday, oh my god. Whew.
Oh dear. That's not good at all.
Yeah, Thursday was a little bit rough.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay today. It's been a bit in between the two. Like,
Okay, so as long as you're not doing too badly then.
yeah, I'm doing pretty okay. Well, I haven't had to take any painkillers today, so
That's something.
yeah. Other than that, went to this really cool new cafe that opened on early access yesterday, called Retrograde in Wrexham, which is a gaming cafe.
How'd that go? Because that looks so good.
It was really good. The pizza was genuinely heavenly.
Ooh.
It was so good. And they've even come up with cool little names for them. I can't remember what the other two were, but I had the pepperoni pizza, which they called the cowabunga pizza. No prizes for getting what that's a reference to.
Oh boy.
And they also had some really cool gaming, well, old game covers as picture frames.
Ooh.
So they had one for the Super NES Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back game, which I thought was really cool, and a couple of others I can't quite remember right now.
Alright, that's definitely quite interesting.
Yeah, they've also got some actual old gaming cabinets as well.
Oh.
They've got some actual games in there. Granted, they weren't fired up yesterday, but one that took my attention very, very quickly was Street Fighter 2.
Understandable.
Yeah, they also had as an SNES loaded up, playing the Super Mario game with the lost levels in, and
Oh, yeah, it's like the All Stars.
that's the one.
Yep,
Yeah,
I've got that on my old console at home.
yeah. Also the coasters. Um, yeah, they have coasters there, and some of them were shaped like NES cartridges with, and they had actual cartridge covers on them,
Oh, that actually sounds so cool.
and some even had SNES ones. Like the ones I had on my table were, let me see if I can remember here, Zelda: Link to the Past,
Yep.
Super Mario. No, I've lost them. The only one I could remember was Link to the Past.
Oh well.
Yeah, and the coffee was amazing as well.
Cam, this make me want to come home early.
It's so good. They're not open. They were open today for a second day of early access, but their
Yeah.
official opening is in very early February, so in the next probably week or two.
Cam, I want to come home early. I don't want to do my degree at home.
No, no. But yeah, I've got to say, when you do come back, we definitely need to go.
100%.
Yeah, it was really cool. I loved it, to be honest.
I'm really glad you did.
Yeah, and I think, well, I know the milk was locally sourced, as well as I think the coffee was from was from somewhere in Chester, I think.
Well,
So it's all fairly locally sourced.
that's actually really nice because it's like supporting local businesses and all that.
Yeah, and did I mention the pizza's made from scratch?
You did not.
Well, I am now. Like, oh, so good in there. I'm definitely going to be going back there as soon as I can.
Yeah, you have to keep telling me how it goes every time.
Oh, I will. Um. Anyway, that's kind of been a little bit of an overview of my week. Been pretty okay. Um. So, shall we move on to this week's motorsports section?
Yeah, because there's definitely an elephant in the room here.
Yeah, and the reason I want to bring this up again is because I want your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Visa Cash App RB.
Nope. No.
I still hate that name.
So remember the last name that you ended up not liking?
Racing Bulls. Yeah, I want that back. I would take that at this point.
Predicted this.
Like, you see, I thought Racing Bulls was going to be as bad as it could get.
Nope.
Because to be fair, that did sound pretty bad, right?
It didn't sound too bad.
But it sounded very generic.
Yeah, generic, yes. Bad, no.
However, what I didn't account for was the fact that it would be a team name full of sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that is a thing that happened this last week or so.
Definitely a thing that happened.
And the F1 fan community is completely up in arms.
Gee, I wonder why.
There isn't a single person who likes the name.
Oh boy.
Like, in fact, there is literally an Instagram page being made called Toro Rosso, and their bio is, "My aim is to bully Visa Cash App RB into changing their name back to Toro Rosso."
We'll take it at this point.
I'm not even kidding. That is the name of an actual Instagram account, and that is their bio.
I love that. Please go support them.
Yeah, considering the fact that probably going to be the Visa Cash App RB livery, it's even a mouthful to say, is probably not going to be too dissimilar from the last of the Toro Rosso liveries being blue and silver.
With just more sponsors on it.
Yeah, the only main difference is with the livery is that there doesn't look like there's going to be any little slivers of red on it, but that could easily be changed, right? So, I don't know why they didn't go back to Toro Rosso. It doesn't really make much sense.
I don't know. They probably had someone at the marketing department being like, yes, let's see. Nobody really cares about our names, so.
And then they found out, oh, never mind. Yes, they do.
Like, to be fair, when just using, because this is originally Red Bull, right?
This is what was previously known as AlphaTauri.
Oh, this is AlphaTauri. Oh, that makes it even worse.
Yeah, this is Red Bull's still Red Bull, don't we? I don't think that's ever going to change. No, this is AlphaTauri, formerly known as Toro Rosso.
Should they gone back to Toro Rosso then? Because that just sounds like a good name.
Way better. Yeah. 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 I can guarantee you right now, Helmut Marko and Christian Horner are in a cupboard somewhere crying.
Don't blame them.
Because, to be fair, the sheer amount of abuse has been unreal. But not unwarranted. That is the worst name I've ever heard.
Worst name in racing history.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even better than. Let me see if I can remember what the name was going to be. Steak F1 Team Sauber.
No, I think that one would actually be better.
Yeah. Although some people have literally started shortening the name already to V-Carb.
It's a V.
Yeah, literally
Oh,
just abbreviate the whole thing.
what? Oh,
Just
that's
acronym it.
oh,
Like, I feel sorry for Daniel and Yuki this year driving for them.
I feel super sorry for them.
I don't know what went wrong in that marketing meeting.
Everything, apparently.
Like, it's as if they thought, okay, we've got the sponsors front and center. Oh God, we need to make sure that people know we're still linked to Red Bull. I know, just slap RB on the end.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind. A couple of the other rumored names for this were Hugo Boss Racing or Adidas.
Adidas would make sense.
I know! How did we get from Adidas to Visa Cash App RB? Like,
Hugo Boss makes sense. Cars can be sexy.
I mean, yeah, but
Makes sense.
like,
Sports.
how? How did this happen?
Biggest payer, probably.
I mean, yeah, but yikes. And God help the commentators this year.
They're gonna have to say all that.
Yeah, like, what the hell are they gonna do?
They're not.
I know, shorten it to V-Carb.
V-Carb.
That's the only option they've got unless they unless they figure out a way to say it really, really, really quickly.
Without it sounding too much like V-Card.
Yeah, Visa Cash App RB, that's the quickest you can say it. Oh dear.
V-Cab car.
Yeah, this is not gonna be good.
No, hey, I guess you're glad you're not doing the streams anymore, huh?
Yeah. Only trouble is, if they do come back in 2025, the name probably won't have changed.
Nope.
Oh god.
Good luck.
Because unlike Steak F1, this name isn't temporary until another team takes over in 2026.
Oh boy.
Because Steak F1 is just a placeholder until Audi come in.
Oh boy.
Yep. That's going to be fun. Also, there is a couple of other bits I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just me ranting about this new name, don't worry, everyone. I think I've got that out of my system. For now.
We'll figure it out.
First, well, both bits of news actually pertain to Haas. One, they have changed their car launch date.
All right.
It's no longer the 12th of February. It's the 2nd. It's literally this Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, so probably next Sunday on the 109th Soundcast, I'll be giving my reaction to that livery.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, because unfortunately, by the time, well, when I record my F1 news update for the week, it'll be Thursday, at which point the livery will not yet be out.
All right.
Yeah, so, yeah, next Sunday, stick around if you want to see my reaction to the VF24 livery.
Or just stick around because you have to.
That works too. But the other bit of news isn't so much news, just more of the fact that today is new Haas team principal Ayao Komatsu's birthday.
Aw.
And I believe, unfortunately, I can't remember if it's his 48th or 49th.
It's one of the 40s.
That is the only snag. I saw it on Instagram earlier, but I just can't remember if it was if it's his 48th or his 49th birthday today. But regardless, it is his birthday.
Either way, I hope he has a great day.
Yeah, I hope so too. And that is it for this week's motorsport section because nothing else has happened in the F1 world over the last week.
Fair enough.
And quite understandably so because, well, let's face it, would you really want to add anything to the visacashapprb fire?
No, I don't think so. I think there's not. I think there are more qualified people who can say a lot more about it than we can.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there is one other thing. Lando Norris has extended his contract beyond 2025. So, much like Charles Leclerc's contract, we don't know when Lando Norris's end date for his contract is.
I see.
Yeah. So both Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris have contracts that, as far as we know, don't have an end date.
That's because they never end.
That's a bit of a weird one.
A little.
Yeah, hopefully we hear about that soon when the contracts actually end. So that's a weird one. Anyway, that's it for this week's motorsport section, as there is literally nothing else I could go over this time. Now then, moving on to this week's entertainment section. I'm afraid I have to start it off with a bit of bad news.
Oh no.
Especially if you are a Trekkie. If you're a fan of Star Trek Enterprise, although if you are a fan, you do probably know this already. But unfortunately, only a few days ago it was announced that the actor who played Ambassador Saval for the whole 4 seasons of Enterprise, Gary Graham, has very sadly passed away.
Aww.
And this kind of blindsided me completely because I didn't even realise that he was ill.
Yeah, no, you didn't know that either.
No, it was just announced on Wednesday, and I thought, oh god, okay, well then.
One of the few that could get private about that private life.
Yeah, like it really took me by surprise. To hear that just came out of the blue, and I thought, oh man, because I really liked Ambassador Saval in Enterprise. He was obviously quite a prickly character, as the Vulcans were in that series. Like the Vulcans for most of the show were really unlikable, I found.
True.
They were very prickly towards humanity, and that was just, it felt weird to me. Knowing how their relationship would develop in the Star Trek that we know, so like the original series, Next Generation.
Yeah.
It just felt a bit weird seeing them act like that, but once you delve into the story a bit further and the fact that the Vulcans that we know from the original series onwards aren't quite the Vulcans that we have in Enterprise, it does make a lot of sense in terms of their ideologies at the time. Yeah, I was very saddened to see Ambassador Saval's actor Gary Graham pass away. Obviously, towards the end of the show, he did start to act more like the Vulcans that we knew from the original series and beyond. So he was definitely a character that I grew to like throughout the show. He was a semi-antagonist at first towards the crew of the Enterprise, because basically the Vulcans didn't think that humanity was ready to properly go into the stars yet.
Yeah.
But humanity said, screw you, we're doing it anyway. Yeah. But throughout the show, obviously humanity proved themselves quite sufficiently. So yeah, I just wanted to say rest in peace to Gary Graham more than anything.
He served well, and I hope his family's doing okay.
Cast of Enterprise as well.
Yeah, true.
Because obviously over the last few years there have been very rampant calls for season 5 of Enterprise.
Yeah.
And should that happen now, they are going to have to address Ambassador Saval's death, I'd imagine.
Probably.
Although as the years go by, I find it less and less likely that we are going to get a season 5 of Enterprise.
You think?
Yeah, considering the fact that in 2025 it'll be 20 years since it ended.
Touche.
Yeah, we are only 1 year away from the 20th anniversary of the end of Enterprise.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So sadly, I don't think we are going to get a season 5 of Enterprise. However, there is probably very little stopping the crew of the NX-01 showing up in Strange New Worlds.
No, there shouldn't be too many limits for that.
Some more than others. The main one is T'Pol, the first officer, obviously the first Vulcan in Starfleet. Like, there has been rampant speculation that she could show up at some point, which would be incredibly cool. Obviously aged up quite significantly, as it will have been over a century since the events of Enterprise at that point.
Oh, that'd be quite interesting.
Unfortunately, Captain Archer wouldn't be able to appear, though,
Oh,
as canonically he's already dead. In fact, his the story surrounding his death is really quite cool in a morbid kind of way.
that's not a
Well,
sentence you like hearing.
yeah. Basically, he was the first president of the Federation and an admiral by the time that the USS Enterprise NCC 1701 launched. And as one of his final requests, he wanted to be on board during the shakedown cruise of the Enterprise.
Oh, right.
So basically, he wanted to make sure that the legacy of his ship was in safe hands. So in 2245, when the Enterprise, when the first proper Starship Enterprise launched, he was on the shakedown cruise and did pass away during that cruise.
Oh, right.
So his career in Starfleet kind of came full circle a little bit. Because, of course, he was the captain of the first Warp 5 ship known as Enterprise, and then he died on the next ship to bear that name.
Wow.
Because in that 100-year time gap, there was no other starship to bear the name Enterprise.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, it took a really long time for that name to come back around. And as soon as it did, Archer said, I want to be on that ship. I don't care. If I'm days from death, I'm going.
Well,
And he did. But most unfortunately, we don't know about the fates of any of the other NX-01 crew members.
oh.
We don't know if they could still be alive by the time of Strange New Worlds. Yeah, the only one that we know is alive is T'Pol, and the only one that isn't alive is Archer.
Yeah.
So as for Lieutenant Reed, Commander Tucker, Ensign Sato, Ensign Mayweather, and Dr. Phlox, we've got no clue.
Well, that's gonna be fun to think about, ain't it?
Yeah, hopefully at least one of them shows up at some point.
Yeah.
So I would like to see them, get some respect paid to them, because obviously that show got cancelled due to very poor ratings.
Yeah.
And in the years since, it's become one of the most loved Star Trek series of the lot.
Well, you never know. They might get their time to shine.
I hope so. Yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of information about Guy Grimm, because obviously he was a very big part of Enterprise, and yeah, his death is probably going to be mentioned in some way, I think, in Strange New Worlds. Obviously, it will have been a long time since his death canonically in that,
Yep.
but maybe there'll be like an anniversary of his death that comes up or something.
Maybe.
Oh, and speaking of Strange New Worlds, season 3, episode 2 has wrapped.
Oh, right.
So, assuming they're going for the 10 episode model again, they got 8 more to go.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Will we get it this year? Don't know.
Are you hoping you get it this year?
Massively so, yeah. Like, I'm really, really, really hoping that we do. Because it's taken them a month and a half to film 2 episodes, right?
Right.
Times that by 5, that would be 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5 months to film all 10.
And then the rest of it to edit it all.
Yeah, post-production, VFX. Maybe the end of the year by the skin of its teeth.
See what happens.
Yeah, that's if they work like crazy.
That's a fair assumption.
Like, they would have to go full steam ahead to get that done.
Yeah.
And again, at the moment, that does only leave Star Trek Discovery as the only Star Trek show coming out this year.
Oh.
And would you like to know when that happened last?
Go for it.
2019, when Discovery was the only Star Trek show on air.
That's quite surprising.
Yeah, the reason Discovery was the only one airing in 2019 was because there was no others. Yeah, so this will be a first for 5 years, unless they can get Strange New Worlds edited very quickly. That being said, I hope they don't rush it for that very reason.
You never know, they might do. Cause
Like, the last thing I want them to do is rush it.
see what happens. See what happens in the end.
Yeah. Anyway, on to some Nintendo news now. This last week, there were some new Joy-Cons revealed for Princess Peach Showtime, which is obviously the new Princess Peach game coming out. Is it next month?
Good question. I can double check that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's February or very, very early March.
Showtime. It's a good job I have. It's coming out. No way. It's coming out the same day I come home.
No way.
22nd of March.
Right, well, I know what you're doing then when you come home.
Yeah, sleeping.
Very fair. Anyway, yeah, there were some new Joy-Cons revealed for the game this last week. And much like the pastel sets that were released at the end of last year, they're releasing a pair of pastel pink ones.
Because, of course.
Yeah, which I've got to say do look quite cool, and I think will very nicely pair with the other pastel sets that they released last year.
They probably will. And
Yeah,
they have to release like that sort of thing because it's Peach.
yeah. And if I remember right, and now I'm going to try and remember all the colors that they released.
Again.
they released a pastel green one.
Yep.
And they paired that, if I remember rightly, with the pastel yellow one.
Mhm.
And then pastel purple.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I'm wanting to say blue.
Might be.
I don't remember. I really don't.
One sec. Let me go search that again.
Thank you.
Welcome. This is why I have the laptop in front of me.
Good call.
So there's like an orange and a yellow, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a purple and a green.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. So I got 3 out of 4 of them right. I just also paired them up wrong.
It happens.
I'll take that. And if I remember rightly, these 2 pastel pink Joy-Cons are also releasing the same date, so the 22nd of March.
Everything comes out by then.
But also what I'm quite interested about is the very rampant rumors that if there is a Nintendo Direct next month, we could finally see the Switch 2.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. How the
Yeah,
heck?
a lot of people have. And I'm, partly curious and partly absolutely gutted.
How come?
Because I've only had my Switch Lite for about a year.
Oh,
And this always happens. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again just in case I'm wrong. I got my PS4 Christmas 2017, right?
right.
Guess what was announced literally 2 weeks later?
PS5.
Bingo.
Thing is, announcing it versus implementing are two separate things. So for now, they
Oh,
will start
true.
releasing, and there will be a cutoff date definitely for when they'll stop releasing Switch games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, games for the Switch 2, if there is one, will probably be compatible with the Switch as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, crikey, the 3DS is only really just shut down.
Yeah.
So we've probably got a hell of a long lifespan for the original Switch line yet. We've probably got a long life for that as it stands.
True.
Because I personally think it would be a very bad idea to cut off the Switch support quickly.
Yeah, no, they're not going to cut it off quickly considering they have online servers for
Yeah,
Splatoon. They have online servers at least for Smash Bros.
yeah, like
A lot of the stuff that they need still have a lot of online servers to go with it. So when we do
yeah,
Switch,
like they would probably want. It would probably be best to leave it until like the back end of the decade.
yeah,
So like maybe 2028, 29 at a push.
yeah, something like that.
But definitely give people a few years.
Yeah, because with the new console, it also means a new Animal Crossing. And come on,
True. And
I,
no doubt in the next couple of years we'll get Pokemon Gen 10.
either Pokemon Gen 10 or another game or another like re-release of an old one.
Yeah. Although, coming on to that, I have seen some rumors about Pokemon Day.
Right.
Um, which apparently, according to these rumors, will contain absolutely no information about Gen 10 at all.
Yeah, because they said that they weren't going to be releasing a game this year.
Very true. Because obviously there has been quite a perceived decline in quality over the last few years because they've been releasing the games yearly, which has led to obviously much shorter development times.
Yeah.
Um, so the Pokemon Company have definitely recognized that and want to kind of very much rectify that as quickly as possible, and the best way to do that would be to have at least one gap year.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, 2026 is going to be the 30th anniversary.
So yeah, Gen 10 probably makes a lot of sense for that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like another Legends game next year.
I mean, yeah, I'd expect another Legends game because that came out super well and it was well received.
Yeah.
So potentially,
Because the one I've been hearing a lot speculated is Johto.
yeah, Johto would make sense because people have either been the most common like rumor or fan made thing has been for Johto and for Unova
Yeah,
because both of them are very much focused on history. So that makes
true.
sense.
So yeah, I think we're probably not going to get anything this year. Although, I did hear one rumor about a potential game coming out this year,
Oh yeah.
a new mystery dungeon.
Well, that's me sorted for a while.
Obviously that is just a rumor, and we will have to wait until Pokemon Day to find out for certain. But yeah, one of the rumors that I did see was related to a new Pokemon mystery dungeon.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, and obviously Pokemon Day is about a month away from now, on the 27th.
So not too far then.
No, not at all. In fact, it was a month yesterday.
I'm looking forward to seeing all that.
Same. Anyway, now I've got a bit of a well. If you remember, in one of the final streams of December, I showed off my new Marvel Legends Spider-Man to you guys.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, boys, got another one this week.
Ah, yes, your most excited project.
Yeah, my pride and joy. Right, say hello to Transformers Legacy Animated Universe Optimus Prime. Now, there is a very specific reason I was excited for this guy. Well, as you guys might know, my favorite Transformer of all time is Optimus Prime, without a shadow of a doubt. Transformers Animated was the first Transformers media I was ever introduced to. It was my gateway to the franchise.
Fair enough.
So this Optimus Prime was my Optimus Prime growing up.
Aw.
And frankly, I was hoping for this to come out during the Legacy trilogy toy line, which has been slowly remaking toys from the last 40 years of Transformers. But with how shafted animated was back in the day, with it getting cancelled, the only Transformers show ever to be cancelled, actually.
Oh,
Well, cancelled before it was meant to be.
that's still kind of surprising.
Yeah, it was cancelled very early in production of season 4.
Ah.
Yeah. And I will admit that has harbored some ill will from me towards Transformers Prime, which was the show that replaced it. Like,
You have
I'm a
eventually
bit
showed
salty about
yourself
that.
just a bit.
Like, I am very salty about that. Was Prime good? Yes. But am I extremely annoyed that they just replaced animated like that? Yes. So again, I want to point out the only Transformers show in the history of the franchise to be outright cancelled.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was not impressed. However, this guy I am very, very, very impressed with. I love him. Granted, when I got him, there was one glaring issue. However, it has also been a problem that I am not alone in. A lot of people have faced this issue. There is one single joint that allows you to turn the bottom half of his robot mode around, so you can connect it to the back of the truck mode, which I'll show off in a few minutes. But the problem is that for a lot of people, that joint has been popping out,
Oh dear.
which has kind of meant that he's fallen apart.
Yeah, that's something that shouldn't really be happening.
No. However, I don't quite know how, but my dad brute forced it, and it's worked ever since.
That's just his power at this point.
Yeah. So if anyone's having that issue with him, you know the issue I'm talking about if you've experienced it. Just brute force it a little bit.
It's like,
That's
it's
all I can
fine,
suggest.
don't worry.
That's all I can suggest, really. Just give it a really good push, and it will turn around without popping out.
Yep.
Anyway, just want to quickly go over the articulation, because there is a lot. Like, you've got an ankle tilt, which allows his foot to go in and out here a little bit. You've got one hell of a knee joint here, like, oh, that was transformation stuff. Like, a really big knee joint here.
Wow.
Obviously, that translates to both knees. Double jointed elbows. A bicep swivel, so his biceps can turn left, right, and 360. His shoulders can go out this far. His hands can turn, which is a pretty. Well, it's becoming a bit more common these days, but for this size of Transformer, which is a Voyager class, in the past this was quite a rare feature, really. But it is becoming a lot more common these days.
Oh yeah.
Next, you have a swivel here at the bottom of the torso, which is a bit stiff on mine. Yeah, it's a bit stiff, and that is the case for a lot of people, it seems. And his head can do a full 360 if you move it round the right ways. And he also has a pin at the bottom of his neck, so we can actually look up and down.
That's just advanced stuff at this point.
Yeah, to be fair, they have packed in a lot of engineering into this guy, and I am happy about that. Like, yeah, he deserves it. Now then, I'm going to show you guys how to transform him, because this is quite a complicated one, I've got to be honest. Don't panic, we've definitely got enough time left on the stream, but it is going to take a couple of minutes.
Yep, no, that's fine. You take all the time you need.
Okay. Well, the first key thing is fold his hands into his arms, which is a feature he does actually share with another Optimus Prime I have, Earthrise Optimus. And that's not something I was expecting them to carry over, really, but they did. Granted, it's done in a slightly different way on this one, but it works just the same. Next, you'll want to take advantage of the double jointed elbows and snap his arms together like that, so they form the doors of his truck mode. And then you'll want to turn his arms completely upside down, so they are the right directions, form the doors of the truck mode. And then you can just kind of leave that there for a little while you work on the legs. So then you'll want to fold the feet down completely, just completely pull them out like that, and then snap his leg in half. And fold those out. Fold the feet up so they're out of the way, so they don't smack into each other. So then you've got something that looks a little like this. And then you'll want to take his chest compartment here. And by the way, there is something really cool. Don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but molded in is a little dashboard and steering wheel.
Clever.
That was completely unneeded, but a cool little detail that I just absolutely adored when I first saw my, reviews of this thing, because that was just, they really didn't need to put that in, but they did. The next thing is that you need to pull the wheels away from the torso here, so they can kind of spay out a little bit, and then pull the back up so it can form the roof in a couple of minutes. And then you'll need to pull up the collarbone section here, and then kind of push the front wheels down, and then kind of push the arms into place there, and then do the same on the other side, so that matches up, obviously. There. And then, for the joint that I initially had trouble with, I'm just going to put his chest up there, so it's ready for when it combines into the truck mode. Now, this is the joint I had a problem with, and a lot of people have. See? Turned around. Super easy there. But whenever because I tried it for a while before my dad came home and performed some absolute wizardry on it, it just wouldn't work. Like, the whole thing would just pop out. Oh, and also, one step that I skipped there is that you need to bring the roof up, you need to bring the back over the top here for the roof. So there's that done. Next up, you'll need to move back to the legs now. So, oh god, you need to what you need to do now is pull this away from here. Actually, before you do that properly, you need to connect the back up to the front. So you just click these two pegs into place there, and then snap the knees. Well, snap what were the thighs in under here. No, the calves actually. So you need to snap the calves into place, and then hook the foot over the back here, and then do the same on the other side. But also, you need to connect the legs together, which I'll show you in a second, once I've got a bit of space to show you. And then snap those parts together, and then put the foot over there as well, as I just did here. And then there is a little clip at the back here, which you do need to just kind of slide in like that. And then, you need to just make sure that it's all lined up, because right now mine isn't for some reason. And there he is in his truck mode.
Wow.
Which I've got to say does look incredibly accurate to the cartoon. Oh my god. And don't get me wrong, his robot mode is pretty much perfect as well. There is a couple little bits of missing paint, which I am going to try and fix at some point soon. And he does come with one single accessory, which is now, once again, incredibly accurate to the cartoon. Save for one little detail, the grey handle should actually be black.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the only little problem. But something really cool is the handle pulls out.
Ooh.
And in vehicle mode, you've got a couple of storage options. You can either clip it to one of the little just stores on the back nights, or you can store it on his arms, and just have it hang there, or you can just put it on his roof, like that.
All pretty clever.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no real ways to hide it. Like, no matter where you put it, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. But with how goofy animated was back in the day, that's kind of understandable and fair enough.
It's the charm of it.
Yeah, and I've got to say, especially like the top half, so the front of the truck, the transformation does remind me a hell of a lot of the original figure.
Oh.
Like, there is a lot of it I just instinctively knew how to do, because it was the same.
Yeah.
Like, the main difference was the back part here, because on the original, instead of folding the legs together, you would just kind of collapse them in at the knee.
Huh.
Like, the top half of the legs would kind of slide into the back half. Yeah, the top half of the truck, I kind of instinctively knew what to do. Yeah, and from what I've seen of the other Transformers Legacy figures, is that that's kind of similar for a lot of them. Like a lot of the remakes that they've made for these toy lines match a lot of the transformations of what their original counterparts from their native series did. Like, if you have the original Transformers animated Optimus Prime from like 2007 or 2008, whenever it was, the front half more than anything, you'll probably know how to transform.
That's a decent thing for people.
Yeah. The only thing I wish they'd have done differently with this toy line is instead of remaking these figures, just re-release the originals. Like,
Yeah.
like these three toy lines, Transformers Legacy, Legacy Evolution, and now Legacy United, have all been building up to the 40th anniversary. Now, obviously, what they've done with that is remake some of the most beloved toys from out those last 40 years. But an alternative to that could have been just re-release them.
You think?
Like, that's one thing they could have done. Granted, I am not complaining about what they have done with remaking them, because this is a rock-solid remake of that original. But part of me also thinks, how cool would it have been to have that exact one again? Like, how cool would it have been to have a toy that is 15 years old back on shelves again?
That would be very cool. But you'd have to
Yeah.
think of like the cost of making it again.
Oh, true, yeah. But I've got to be honest, Hasbro, especially in the case of Transformers, are not shy about doing re-releases. Like, they have re-released the G1 toy line so many times, and are actually in the midst of doing it again right now. So yeah, they're not exactly shy about doing re-releases. So is that one where they could have gone with this series of toy lines? Yeah. But am I unhappy that they've gone the way they have? No. Like, this is really cool that they've actually remade them. But I would have also loved to see a re-release of the original.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, just see how it kind of stacks up to modern day Transformers. Like, I would have loved to have just seen how a 2021 Optimus Prime, being the G1 version I have from Earthrise, stacks up against a toy from 2007 or 2008. But hey, until that day comes, this will definitely do.
That's good at least.
Yeah, other than that little problem with the joint there, that again, I just want to quickly remind you guys of this joint. Other than that initial problem, I have literally zero problems with this thing. Like, yeah, he's great. Is that nostalgia talking? Maybe. There's a good chance. But nah, he is a really rock solid figure. I've got to be honest.
That's always good.
Yeah, so that's just something I wanted to show off because I have been waiting for this thing since September. I am not even joking. It's been that long since I pre-ordered it.
You've been excited for that for a while.
Oh yeah. Anyway, is there anything else you want to bring up today?
No, not really. I don't have much.
No? Oh yeah, I have only one other thing. I did probably one of my biggest gaming sessions for a while on Thursday.
Yep.
On a game that I downloaded on my phone, that is also a console game, which is very rare.
Oh.
And it's actually Disney Dreamlight Valley. Oh, you still with us, Roxanne? Oh. Okay, we may have... Oh, are you back with us?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, it's actually Disney Dreamlight Valley. I, did download it on my PlayStation a few months ago, but quickly deleted it as I realized that left me with very little storage. Recently, though, I found out that it was on Apple Arcade, and then I downloaded it and played it for literally 2 hours straight without realizing. Yeah. Although there was one thing that made me very confused. I was looking through the character roster, and they have them sorted out by film, which is very handy.
Yep.
They've got for Beauty and the Beast, they've got Belle, Gaston, and the Beast, obviously. But one that had me scratching my head was the Cinderella category.
What happened?
Well, we have the fairy godmother, and that's it. I think there's someone missing.
Cinderella?
Somebody quite important, and yeah, Cinderella. Yeah. What?
Ah, dear.
But a couple that I was very nostalgic to see, were Wally and Eve.
Yeah, missed them.
Yeah, I love that film.
It's a classic.
Definitely need to give it a. I need to give it a rewatch at some point.
No time like the present.
Yeah, because was I one of those people that cried in the cinema when I thought Wally had died? Absolutely. Like, I bawled my eyes out along with half the cinema screen.
Aww.
Like, I am not afraid to admit that, because god damn it, that scared me to death.
I don't think I actually cried.
Huh?
I don't think I actually felt anything towards it.
What? Hold on. Did we watch the same film?
We did, but then I don't necessarily cry about films often. Like with Finding Nemo, I never cried at the end.
What?
Yeah.
What? Okay, then.
Mufasa. Mufasa dying, didn't cry. Any sort of sad thing in a Disney film, didn't cry. Or like a Pixar film, even either.
Oh my god. Well, that was unexpected.
That's my fun fact for the day.
All right then. Okay. Did not expect that. Anyway, is there anything else you want to bring up today?
Nothing that's going to incriminate me any further.
Fair enough. Shall we wrap this one up then?
Let's put a bow on it, yeah.
Alright then, thank you all for joining me and Roxanne on this 108th AstoundCast. If you've liked this stream, please click the like button, and then if you want to subscribe, please click mine and Roxanne's subscribe buttons. Her link will be in the her YouTube channel will be in the description. My button will be just below the video title, and you'll get to the description by clicking the video title. And once you click both of our sub buttons, click our bell icons, get both sets of notifications. Comment as well, because why not? And let me know what you thought of the stream, and if you think there was anything that we missed from any of the particular sections that we brought up today. Once you've done that too, please follow me on my social medias. They'll be down in the link tree in the description. Below that is going to be Roxanne's website. And lastly, please do share this video with all your friends. They can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with a fun fact, tomorrow with another video, unless we have a fun fact.
See you tomorrow with a fun fact.
Yeah, I screwed that up big time. Yeah, that was
In fact, there will be a video tomorrow.
yeah, there sure will be once I figure out what it is. And on that, that's a mess up of an outro. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.